Ladies and gentlemen, the AOG Podcast with AJ and George.
We are back at it. Wow, that's a bad echo. AJ and George, it's the AOG Podcast. We haven't done this in a while, huh?
How long has it been? Has it been 15 years? I was trying to think about it. 2008?
Yeah, at least probably, right?
You know, I was thinking about what has changed and what hasn't changed since we did the radio. And, you know, I think what hasn't changed is that we probably have only about 2 people listening right now. And the only thing that really has changed is that you don't have as much hair.
This is true. Hey, I wouldn't be talking.
So.
That hairline's receding a little bit.
Yeah, for everybody wondering, that's why he has the hat on. So that actually stunts his hair growth, and it's going to make him bald quicker.
No, the last time we did this, so George and I used to do a online radio station, and it was probably very illegal at the time. I don't really think we had the right licensing. And I don't know, we would be happy when we'd get like 10 listeners, you know?
I remember the first time we hit the double digits, we went crazy. And
yeah,
back then, the way we would promote a show was we would go over AIM back in the day.
AIM, that's right.
Remember AIM? We used to go over there and we'd put our away message and promote the show. And then I would put on my away message while I was eating that AJ's radio station gave viruses to my family's computer, which I still think it did to this day. I still truly believe that. It did slow down the computer. It wasn't that the computer was very old.
Oh, yeah, no, it wasn't that the computer was old at all. So the AOG Podcast, for those of you, I'm AJ here with George. AOG Podcast, we're going to be doing this every Wednesday at 8 p.m. AOG stands for the airing of grievances. A little nod.
Not AOC.
Not AOC. Not to be confused. A little nod to Seinfeld. We're both really big Seinfeld fans, and every week we're going to try to have a guest. This is our first episode, so we're just kind of getting our feet wet here. But every week we're going to try to have a guest air their grievances, as they did in that Seinfeld episode. So, George, you had an interesting encounter this weekend, huh?
I did. It was pretty interesting. So, you know, I work out at a cheap gym. You know, I'll give them a little plug if they want to. If they want to endorse.
How cheap are we talking? I mean,
it's $28 a month, which is extremely cheap.
That's even lower than Planet Fitness, I think.
That's almost lower than Planet Fitness. It's lower than YMCA, so it's Blink Fitness. So when you pay $28 a month, you can only imagine the type of quality that you're going to get when it comes to the machines and also the types of.
Do they even work, or are they all just for show?
You know, that's a good question. Sometimes in a row, you could have like 6 or 7 machines, and probably 3 or 4 of them are out of service. And you always laugh because I know it doesn't work, but like when the person gets on next to me, I don't say anything. I watch them struggle just as I struggled on that machine, and I don't say anything, and then they get off. But I almost feel guilty not saying anything, but I get a kick out of it. So anyway, so there's this guy at the gym, and you know, he's like an interesting looking guy, and he stands out because he looks pretty dirty, and he wears pajamas when he exercises. And he wears a t-shirt, and I've seen him outside the gym, even in cold weather, listening to loud music and smoking. Now, I'm not sure if he's smoking cigarettes or something else or what he's doing. But
well, everything is legal in the city now, so might be having a funny cigarette.
Can you do that in Long Island or no? Can you smoke out there?
I don't know.
Is weed legal?
Is it a state thing or a city thing?
I don't know. Let's get the governor on maybe as a special guest to find out, and we'll get Mayor Adams. So anyway, you know, this guy always stood out to me as like a interesting guy. I'm going to keep my eye on this guy because he just looks off, you know, and I kind of want to stay away from him and not really smell him. So I don't want to get too close to him, but from a distance. So anyway, on Sunday, I'm walking in the city and I'm going past one of the subway stops, and there's always interesting things that happen outside of a subway stop because you know, homeless people with issues, they don't really stray too far from the subway So I'm getting closer and closer. Now I need glasses, and I haven't gotten glasses or contacts yet, but I see this guy as I'm walking. I might be 30, 40 feet from him. And I'm like, this guy has a brown sign. He's panhandling. And I'm like, this guy looks very familiar to me. Like, who is this guy? Like, you see homeless people all the time, but you really don't recognize them unless they're like the neighborhood homeless person that's always in the same spot all the time.
Right.
So sure enough, I get super close. It's the guy from my gym. And as I'm going by him, and I do always do this, I always keep a straight face and just look forward and don't even acknowledge.
You can't look at people, right? Once you make eye contact,
you're done.
You're done.
You're done.
You're done.
Yeah, you're done, and you better start putting your hand in your pocket, and you better get something. So this guy asked me for $1, and I did not even look at him. So now I was like, that's pretty funny, like a funny story to tell people and pretty interesting. Like how many people can go to the gym and say, hey, I have this homeless person working out here, and this guy asked me for $1 months and months later after I started initially seeing him. But now I'm starting to think, do I have a problem on my hand? Did this guy, you think, recognize me, and is he going to confront me potentially at the gym? Now, it's been a few days since this happened, but I haven't seen
Have you been back to the gym since?
I have been back to the gym on full alert, and I am bringing a couple of dollar bills with me just in case. Now, do you think there's any chance that this guy would recognize me, or do you think that this guy in a given day just sees so many people and doesn't really look at the person when he's asking, so he won't recognize me?
He definitely recognized you. There's no doubt about that. I mean,
you think so?
100%. And now you have to deal with the fact that you didn't help this guy out. This poor guy is just trying to work out at Blink freaking Fitness, and you couldn't give him $1.
He probably needs the money towards the $28 a month, unless it's subsidized.
I thought you said... I'm surprised it's not free.
But do you think if he recognized me, now it depends on...
You think he's going to confront you?
Do you think he would confront me at the gym, like physically inside while I'm running on a treadmill, or do you think that there's a chance?
Listen,
that
treadmill isn't going very far. That equipment doesn't work too well. You're getting confronted, and you're going to have an altercation on your hands at that gym.
Well, should I just leave? Should I switch gyms? But it's so cheap that it's worth the confrontation.
You're so freaking cheap. You are cheap.
But yes, so TBD in the following weeks, if something does happen at the gym with this guy, or if I see him panhandling again, you never know if you're going to see the person again. I'll follow up with.
You have to wonder, and listen, I never like to think like this, but you have to wonder, did he actually really need the money, and this is just a big coincidence?
That's a good point. I mean, listen, there was one time, a quick story here on that. I remember my mom telling me once. I remember they're never quick, especially when I start drinking. Then they just go on and on and on. So that's an interesting thing because sometimes people pose, right? Like my mom once told me a story when she worked in the city.
By the way, for those of you on Facebook Live, just comment in the chat what you think is going to happen. Is this guy going to confront George or not? Sorry.
Yeah. Or should I go up to him and just give him the $1 at the gym to make up for it? So anyway, quick story though. Speaking of, is it legit, right? My mom, she used to work in the city, and she said one time she was walking to the subway, and there was this homeless guy with a dog, and later he was sitting, and later on she saw him walking with no stick or anything, just walking perfectly, and it was just all an act, with the dog pretending to be blind. So,
yeah, like I said, you never know. It's certainly an interesting world out there. So real quick, one person commented, said, yes, you need to pay up, George.
How much? $1?
I guess the $1. I don't know.
Well, you have to factor in inflation, too. I remember when we were kids, it used to be 25 cents. Now it's like $2, I think, sometimes.
They're getting greedy. So we used to do this radio show with Ashley. Ashley reached out to me. I don't know if she's tuned in or not. Ashley reached out. She was a little upset, George, that you didn't ask her to come on the show.
I was actually thinking about it. When we needed a guest, we could have brought her on here, and she could have talked about the time that you and I went to Pennsylvania to visit her.
Yeah, that's right. That was a good trip.
Didn't we see Howie Mandel too?
We saw Howie Mandel. We saw a couple of people, a couple of good people. So we're going to just hop on over to a quick commercial break. We have some news, politics, entertainment, sports headlines coming up, and we will be right back. We'll see you.
Have you not been wearing a mask or social distancing? Did you recently attend a Trump rally? Then you or someone close to you is probably laying down. Hi, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor and CEO of MyPillow. No one should underestimate the value of a good rest. And I should know. When I was addicted to crack, passed out on a deserted street during a bender in Mexico, I realized this curb's doing zero favors for my neck. Then after talking directly to God and not myself, MyPillow was born. Years later, after a settlement for deceptive ads and an F from the Better Business Bureau, I'm a multimillionaire. How? Because America! There's no problem that a pillow can't solve. Freebasing in an alley? You're gonna want MyPillow. A woman wants to choose what she can do with her own body? That's gonna need a pillow. Wife left you in an ugly divorce? Use about 8 pillows. And if you vote Trump come November, you can get 2 of my pillows for the price of 2 of my pillows. Call my new number now.
That's Mike Lindell, one of our sponsors tonight, MyPillow. Special shout out to Marshall Cook on YouTube, who created that video. Marshall Cook. Check him out on Instagram at this Marshall Cook. Also on YouTube, just Marshall Cook. And shout out to Chris Kleckner and Lauren Howard Hayes in that video. So Mike Lindell, ladies and gentlemen, our own official sponsor, MyPillow.
Everybody gets a pillow.
Everyone gets a pillow. And if you order today, $19.99, you get another pillow at $19.99, just the regular price. You know, I gotta air some grievances about that guy. So have you ever tried those pillows out?
I didn't. I've never tried the pillow, nor have I met somebody that told me that they had a MyPillow.
They
Do
suck.
you have a MyPillow?
They suck.
Well, how did you buy a MyPillow? Or did somebody give it to you?
Did you say pillar?
Pillow.
No, someone got it as a gift for me, I guess. I don't really know, but they're awful.
What's so bad about it, though? Like, do you like a firm pillow, a soft pillow?
I like
What
a
type of
thick pillow. I'd rather, but it was so bad. I would have rathered sleep without the pillow.
Really?
Oh, I was having all these neck pains and just all this. It wasn't good.
How many nights did you sleep with the MyPillow before you stopped using it?
I don't know. 6 months, maybe a year.
6 months? That you were having neck pain for 6 months? Did you not think it was the pillow?
You know, actually, I had a mass removed on my neck a couple of years ago. I attribute it to the damn pillow. So Ashley's listening. She said, "Love that y'all are back on the air. Might need to get to see it. Might not get to see it all live tonight, but watching as I can." She's got her hands busy with all the kiddies at home. So Ashley, thanks for listening. We got Elizabeth listening. She says you need to pay up $100, George.
How many children does Ashley have? Is it 5 or 6?
No, 3.
Oh, 3. I thought it was 5 or 6.
No. All right, let's get into some of the news headlines we've got tonight. So rumors are going around with the we got the Super Bowl coming up this weekend. Rumors are going around that the NFL is scripted.
I heard about that. A former player came out and said that.
Yeah.
How was that possible? Did that guy on the Buffalo Bills back in early January, did he have a fake heart attack out on the field when they had to give him CPR?
I don't know what happened there. So You have Vince McMahon, who's no longer in WWE, right? He got pushed out.
No, he's back.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is. He's back. He forced his way in because he's the largest shareholder of the company. Stephanie's out. He's in.
When did this happen?
You know, AJ, you have to fact check. You can't be like Trump, okay? You have to fact check your news stories and what you're going to say.
No, he's not back. He's not back.
Yeah, he's
You're
back.
fake news. You're fake news.
No, he's back. You could check it right now.
I did. He's not back.
Yes, he is.
He's as gone as the day when we all thought he died when his limo blew up on Monday Night Raw 15 years ago. The guy's not back. But the guy had twice he's failed with this XFL, this other football league here.
Now The Rock is taking it over.
The Rock's taking it over. But I'm wondering, is he fueling these rumors with Arian Foster that the NFL is scripted?
He totally could be because he wants then people to stop watching the NFL and start watching the XFL. That was his baby product, I guess, in the late 90s, early 2000s that flopped.
Yeah, right. Twice it flopped.
But I will tell you, AJ, I saw something on Instagram circulate this weekend, and it was a photo, and it was a leaked photo of the Super Bowl script, and it had the exact time that the game took to be played, and it had the final score, the Philadelphia Eagles 37, the Kansas City Chiefs 34. So now people are starting to question on DraftKings and all these sports betting apps, do I make a bet based off what I saw? I think I saw the script.
So Ashley just said he's back. Ashley, can you clarify? Do you mean Vince McMahon is back in WWE?
I'm right. You're wrong, AJ. He's back.
When? Well,
he's been back for a few weeks. He pushed his way back in. They're going to sell the company.
That's what she said.
Yeah, they're going to sell the company. There's rumors that Saudi Arabia is going to purchase it, or The Rock is going to get it.
Wait. WWE?
Yeah, WWE. The only way they could sell it is if Vince approves it, so they have to let Vince back.
Ashley goes, yeah, George is right, and I don't admit that often. So for those of you who are listening, if you're new to the show, obviously, if you're new to knowing us, George is never right, and you can't believe him.
0 for 1, AJ. You have that pretty mic right over there, that beautiful mic, but it didn't help you with your facts this time.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
So they're going to sell it to a foreign company?
Potentially, or there's rumors that The Rock is interested, but he would have to get with other investors to be able to have that much money pooled together to be able to buy it, and it would go private.
Maybe Elon's interested.
Could be Elon. You never know.
Some more money into
wrestling's terrible, though. It's terrible.
I got to be honest. I watched the Monday Night Raw 30th anniversary a few weeks ago. I didn't realize it was started the year we were born, so that made me feel really old.
Oh, wow.
But I didn't know anyone.
Was John Cena on it, or not even John Cena?
I got to be honest. So I tuned in late. So my TV has this thing. If you tune into a show late, you could go right to the beginning. So I actually tuned in at the end of the show. So I was like, okay, I'll go back to the beginning. All I know is I watched Paul Heyman the guy hasn't changed a bit in the last 30 years. His voice
Good genes or good docs?
What was that?
Are you talking about his personality or the way he looks?
I'm talking about the guy is awful. He's annoying. So they put Paul Heyman on for, I don't know. I think I watched for about 20 minutes. He was holding court in the ring. Like he was like the judge, right? I don't know what the heck was going on. Anyway, I was like, all right, this has got to get better. I leaned on the remote. It changed the channel. Now I can't get back to it because the show is, and I'm like, you know what? This isn't really worth my time. It's just not what it used to be, I guess. I don't know.
At least you gave it a shot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gone downhill after they moved on from the Attitude Era and tried to make it more appropriate for children and their families. It's really gone downhill. I mean, some of the stuff, if you go back in the clips, some of the stuff that they did back in the day, I can't even repeat it here. It was some crazy stuff.
Oh yeah. We've got AEW is good. WWE is terrible, people are saying in the chat. I don't know.
Yeah.
Check it out.
I think Jim Ross is on AEW.
Yeah,
I think
well,
he moved over.
they like actually fired him, right? Because he was fake fired a few times, if you remember.
Right.
You know, crazy
Speaking
stuff.
Speaking of wrestling, we just have to give a shout out to Jerry the King Lawler. He had a massive stroke yesterday, but he's doing better, they said.
Wow, did he really?
He had a heart attack after he wrestled. I don't know, but it must have been like 10 years ago when he got back to the commentator's booth, and he had a heart attack live on air next to Michael Cole.
Michael Cole, wow. This is crazy. All right, what else we got in the news?
All right, so I'm going to go out of order here, but there was this guy from New York. He booked a cruise in Sydney, Australia, and like me, he wanted to save a couple bucks, and he found amazing airfare to get from New York to Sydney, Australia. So he flies from LaGuardia to Billings, Montana. When he gets to Billings, Montana, he looks at the plane that is going to take him to Sydney, and it only holds about 9 people. And in that moment, he said, how is this plane possibly going to get all of us across the Pacific? It turns out that he mixed up the airport codes. So one is like SDY, the other one's SYD. So he flew to Billings, Montana, thinking he was going to connect to Sydney, Australia, but he was actually going to Sydney, Montana after that flight. Wow. Now, listen, I get it, being excited and a bargain. I'm all about that. I'm one of the cheapest people out there. But didn't this guy think to himself, there is no possible way that there is a direct flight from Montana to Australia? I mean, like, you have to use common sense. This guy, Kingsley Burnett, I kind of want to get him on the show to ask him what the heck he was thinking about, because you could probably only get a direct flight from LA, San Francisco, or Houston.
Get him on. Let's get him on next week. I mean,
yeah, and he's in New York, so maybe we could get him in the studio too.
Yeah, there we go.
I mean, so the thing is, everything is okay. The airlines, for once, didn't mess up, and they got him back to New York and he rebooked his cruise for June. So, Kingsley, I hope you have a great cruise, and I hope you make it to Sydney, Australia. It's a great city. I've been there.
Good luck. In some national security news, we have the Chinese spy balloon was taken down the other day off the coast of South Carolina. We got it up here on the screen for you. I mean, forget about the national security risk. Is she for real wearing this?
What is that, a bird or a polar bear on the shirt? What is that?
Oh, it looks like a bird.
Is it a bird?
I didn't even see that.
I mean, I know I have terrible
it was leftover lunch or something. I didn't know what she had going on there. Why would you go out like that? But anyway, the balloon made its way across the whole continental United States. We shot it down, which I believe was the high. I mean, that thing was at like 60,000 feet.
That's high.
And I don't think the fighter jets can really go that high from what I was reading. Now China wants it back. What are we doing?
No, not giving it back. Can't give it back.
First off, I thought there was a helium shortage. So I don't know who's lying to who.
Now, do you think they should have shot it down before it entered the lower 48 when it was in Alaska?
They should have been communicating with when it was off the Aleutian Islands, and they should have been communicating and said, hey, whose is this? Okay, it's China. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to, you've got X amount of time or distance or whatever. You got to take it down. And
maybe they weren't clear at first. Maybe they thought it might have been Whoopi Goldberg in the air, and they didn't.
I mean, come on.
I actually saw something too. A police department. I don't know. Did it go past North Carolina or South? Was it North Carolina?
Well, it was downed off the coast of South Carolina.
Okay. One of the police departments, though, they tweeted out a photo of the balloon in the air, and they said, please, people, do not try to shoot down the balloon, because there were people there, that would. It's 60,000 feet up. Your gun is not. It's not going to make it. Like, it's just impossible. But there would be some some person out there out on a field or a back porch shooting up at it.
Get someone from
they wanted to warn.
yeah. All right, what else we got in the news here? We got a few minutes left.
Okay, so Jessica Simpson, we remember her. She's still around. She said that at the 2001 MTV Music Awards, a celebrity who I think was dating somebody at the time sent her flirtatious text at the award show.
During the show.
During the show,
Wow.
and she was okay because she was on a break at that time from Nick Lachey. And this person and her stayed in contact, and they ended up hooking up together. And this went on for several years. Now, Page Six reports that it was probably Mark Wahlberg because she described the outfit that the person wore, jeans and a t-shirt, and Mark Wahlberg was there and wearing jeans and a t-shirt. So, besides that point, I think I've only seen one Mark Wahlberg film, Ted, which, by the way, never take your children there because a woman and her children were in the front row, and there was a scene in like a grocery store or something, and I can't describe what happened, but the woman had to cover her eyes, her kids' eyes. AJ, it brings me up to one quick thing.
What's that?
The OG of reality TV was Newlyweds with Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey, in my opinion. Early 2000s, MTV, it was awesome. So many other shows have blossomed since then. You know, you have the Hulk Hogan, the Osbournes, Kardashians, Bachelor. What was the first reality TV show that you watched, and what's your favorite?
You know, I don't know the first one I've watched. I'd really have to think about that. But I know you watch a lot of Bravo, right?
Yes, but now The Bachelor. I watch it.
You watch
I watch
The
every
Bachelor,
Monday
yeah.
night. The Bachelor. We should do a Bachelor bracket on here one day.
Maybe we could do that. Yeah, you know, Bravo's got some good stuff. I like when the guys are on from the Jersey Housewives. I think they're hysterical. They actually have a comedy group now. They're out on tour. They do all that good stuff. I think it's funny. We got a couple minutes left. Real quickly, Nikki Haley asked President Trump, or former President Trump, for his approval to run. What are your thoughts on that? I'm thinking he wants everyone to run. He wants as many people, even Ron DeSanctimonious. He wants as many people running because, think of it this way. If you've got Ron DeSantis and Trump, right, DeSantis is going to have a better edge, I think, right?
For sure.
But if you have Trump, DeSantis, Nikki Haley, Pompeo, like
Ben Carson.
Yeah, whoever else, Trump's going to have 50% at least. He's in the 50% range. Everyone else is going to be kind of battling it out. So he wants more people to run.
That's interesting. That's a unique perspective. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just my kind of takeaway. We'll get to one more story, and then we're going to kind of wrap things up for this week's AOG podcast. What you got for us?
The last story. So Tom Brady retired from the NFL, the GOAT. He did his retirement speech from the beach.
Again, he did this.
I wish I thought of this. The genius went to the exact location where Tom Brady filmed the video, put sand in a glass jar, put it on eBay, and it got bid up to $100,000. AJ, $100,000. You can fly to Florida first class. You can stay at Mar-a-Lago. You can have a taco bowl at Mar-a-Lago. You can do anything, and you can come back and you would save money. You can still get the sand. What a waste of money. That's why inflation is still high.
Especially, can you trust this guy though? Because he's retired how many times now?
This is the second time.
I don't buy it.
Yeah.
I don't buy it. Imagine if you were on the first go around when he retired and you got rid of a lot of that stuff, or you tried to sell a lot of that stuff, right? It's not worth anything.
No. They auctioned off his last football, his last touchdown, I think, that he threw in the NFL, not this past season, but the season before. And I think he had to compensate the person that bought it because it was worthless, because it wasn't the last one.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
It's crazy.
And he lost his marriage.
Yeah. The whole thing is just, hey, let's see if he actually can commit to retirement this time.
Yeah. So do we want to go another half hour or no?
I don't know, Ashley. Should we go another half hour?
She's got to put the kids to sleep. She's got to tuck them in.
I don't know. Listen to a story from George. They're going to go to sleep right away. Listen, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. The first ever AOG podcast. Next Wednesday, we're going to do it again, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to try to have that special guest. Let us know if you have any grievances or if you have any special guests for us. We'll see you next week. Bye, guys.
Happy Valentine's Day.